So I've been feeling a bit, tight in my shoulders and my neck, just from being on the laptop and hunching over, doing lots of work. So we're just going to do a bit of work on opening up the chest, releasing any tension in our neck. So I hope you enjoy that. And some of these are the first part of the sequence. You can also do seated in a chair. So if you wanted to do just the first bit of it, as a break in between, your classes, or, after doing a bit of work, if you just need, 10-minute break, you can do the first lot of this sitting in your chair. So first of all, just sit here and arrive on the mat or your chair, and then making our spine nice and long, and just bring awareness into how our neck and how our shoulders and our upper back are feeling. And as we inhale, just sending some air to that area, and imagining everything loosening up as we exhale all of our air. Continuing your breathing in that way, softly through the nose, and your choice to breathe out through the nose or out through the mouth with a sigh. Trying to soften the jaw and the tongue, creating space in between the back of the jaw where we hold a lot of our tension, and imagining everything is loosening up from our ears, down our jaw, all the way down the front and the back of our neck into our shoulder blades. And again, breathing in and out through your mouth. And then starting to just drop your ear to your right shoulder, dropping the ear down, and then continuing to breathe into the side of the neck. Imagining all the muscles relaxing as you exhale. And then if you'd like a bit more, inhaling the right hand up to the sky, and then placing that hand on top of your head. And without pushing down, just use the weight of your hand to deepen the stretch a tiny bit more, making sure that we're not pushing or forcing anything. And then with your left hand, you can spider your fingers out to the side, and you can just wiggle that hand around, seeing if there's any tight spots. You can also point the fingers up to the ceiling and see how that feels, but that can be quite intense, so be careful if you're doing that one. And again, breathing into the side of the neck, imagining all the tension melting away. And then using your hand to push your head back up to center, and releasing both hands back to the knee. And just feeling the difference in both sides. And then dropping the left ear to the left shoulder on the exhale. Again, just feeling into the right side of the neck. Trying to soften the jaw and feel tension releasing all the way from our ear down the side of our neck to our shoulder. And then bringing our left hand up to the air, and then placing it on top of our head, and just using the weight of the hand to rest on top of the head. And again, just breathing in and breathing out nice and slowly. With your right hand, that can go out to the side, and you can just play around in the space there, doing whatever feels nice in your shoulders and your neck. You might find a spot to stay in, breathing into that spot, or you might even bring your fingers up to the top of the room, pointing them up, which is a bit more of an intense stretch. And if we're feeling any pinching, softly coming out of it and choosing an option that is less intense, and then breathing into that area. And using your hand to push your head back up to center. Be very careful with this, and then dropping both hands back to your knee. Shoulders come up to our ears, and then rolling them back down the back of our shoulders. And again, rolling our forward. Our shoulders come up, and then we come back. You can even place your hands on your shoulders and do some rotations like this, and this also helps with the rotation of the shoulder. Synchronizing the breath with the movement, being really slow and mindful with our movements. Just noticing how our shoulders are feeling. And then reversing the direction if you haven't already done so. Nice big circular movements. And nice slow and deep breathing. And then releasing our hands back down. And hands come up in between, or reaching up all the way to the sun. And then we're going to interlace our hands and stretch away. Stretching up to the sky. And then turning to one side. It doesn't matter which one you do first. And then just feeling that connection between the top of the hands all the way down the side body into the hip. So we naturally feel like we want to lift our hip up off the mat. So we're trying to ground that down. And it's not about coming over so far. It's really about reaching up to the top corner and opening up our chest. And then on an inhale, coming back up. And on the exhale, we go to the other side. And again, keeping that connection all the way down our arms, all the way down to the hip, reaching up to the top corner and peeling open the chest. And then reaching back up and exhaling, releasing hands. This time we reach up again, inhaling, clasping our hands behind, and then we're going to bring them behind our head and keep our elbows nice and wide. Stretching up nice and long with our body. And then on the exhale, we're going to roll our neck down so our chin comes in towards our chest. And just using the weight of the hands to help stretch the back of the neck. Again, try not to force anything. Breathing in and breathing out, releasing any tension in the back of the neck and the top of the thoracic spine. And then inhaling to come up, and then opening up the shoulders and looking up to the ceiling. Again, using your hands on the back of your neck for support. And again, breathing in and breathing out. And on the inhale, coming back up to straight, and on the exhale, we come back down. Chin comes in towards our chest. And on the inhale, we reach up, and we exhale, we look up to the sky. Then inhaling, coming back to center, And then exhale, rolling our chin back down. And then inhaling, coming back up. And we release our hands back down towards our knees. And just noticing how our neck and shoulders are feeling again. And inhaling, coming up, reaching up to the top of the room. And then left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. So we can come into a little seated twist. Inhale, we make our body nice and long. And then every time we exhale, we just twist a tiny bit further. So again, just opening up the thoracic spine, looking over the back shoulder. You can deepen the stretch slightly by placing your left hand on your front knee and using that to twist around a tiny bit more. Then feeding the back hand underneath the front, it comes underneath the front hand, and then our hands will be in a cross position. Then you can bring the backs of your hands together, and if this feels comfortable, then you can bring the palms of your hands together. So we call this eagle arms in yoga, and also if your hands can't touch, that's also okay. You can have them out like here. The main thing is that you're feeling a nice stretch in between the backs of your shoulder blades. And as we inhale, we come up, lifting up our elbows. And the exhale, we're going to bring our elbows in towards our belly. Inhaling, coming back up. And exhaling, coming back down. And a third time, inhaling. And exhaling. And on this inhale, we come up and we unravel our hands, reaching up to the sun. And then our right hand comes forward and our left hand comes back. Inhaling, making the spine nice and long. And on the exhale, twisting and looking over our left shoulder. Again, inhaling, making our body long. And exhaling, twisting. And optionally having our right hand on our knee just to help with a tiny bit more of a twist in the top of the spine. And then using the back hand to come under the front. And again, our hands are in a cross at the elbows. And then see if we can stay like this, or back of the hands together, or we come into the full bind. Taking your choice. Lifting up the elbows as we inhale, and as we exhale, we come forward and our elbows come in towards our belly. And again, we come up, and we exhale and we release. Trying to melt away all the tension in between the backs of the shoulders. And then on the next inhale, reaching up, unraveling our hands. And then exhaling, releasing. Slow release with the hands all the way down. And then we come forward into a tabletop position. And then we're just going to slowly walk our hands forward, walking everything forward, and we're coming into a puppy dog pose. So it's like when puppy dogs stretch out their body. So I'm going to do that pose as well. So hands come quite far forward, and then we're starting to drop our chest down towards the mat. And you might be able to rest your head, your forehead on the mat, or you might rest your chin on the mat, or you might be up here, and that's also okay. Listen to how far your body can go. And just focusing on relaxing and melting the chest forward. Continuing to breathe deeply. Noticing how when we bring awareness into our breath, our ability to drop into the posture. And then really careful with how we come out. We can actually just slide ourselves backwards to a child's pose. And then roll our body forward to a tabletop position. And then dropping our belly, looking forward, inhaling, and then on the exhale, pushing through the top of the spine, really pushing through the thoracic spine. Maybe we just pat our hands out here, or just really feel into the top of the spine as we arch our back. And then again, inhaling and looking forward. And exhaling, rolling through the top of the back, pushing through thoracic spine. And continuing this movement. As we move with fluidity between the two postures. And feel free to do some other movements that feel comfortable to you. Listening to your body, what it needs. And then coming back to stillness, lifting up the right hand or bringing the left hand into the center of the mat and bringing up the right hand to open up to the sky. So just opening up the chest here and letting that hand fall backwards behind, opening up the chest and just breathing in here. And then using the pinky to lead as we bring the hand to the back of the room, sweeping it under and then forward again, leading with the thumb. So just doing some big circles with our hand, some big shoulder rotations. Opening up, leading with the pinky to the back of the mat, and then as we come down, the thumb leads forward. And then reversing the direction as well. And then on the next one, carefully placing it down where the left hand is, and then lifting the left hand up to the sky on the inhale. Opening up our chest to the sky, letting the left hand drop behind, letting gravity just do the work, imagining all the muscles in our shoulders opening, and then starting to do the rotations again. Hand comes to the back of the mat, swoops forward, reaching out in front of us, and then reaching up into the sky. Again, synchronizing your breath with the movement, inhaling as we reach up, and exhaling as it comes down under our body. And then reversing the direction. Exhaling as we come forward and down, inhaling as we sweep up. So seeing if your mobility is any different in one of the shoulders. For me, I'm a lot tighter in my right shoulder. And then releasing the hand back down. And we send our heels, our bottom back towards our heels in a wide-legged child's pose. Stretching out in front of us. And then inhaling, coming forward, curling up our toes, and we come back towards our first downward facing dog. And this is also a nice stretch in the shoulders and the upper back. I'm bending the knees nice and generously so that we can bring our chest in towards our thighs. Heels don't need to be touching the ground, they can be lifting up. And just pedaling out the heels here. straightening one leg as we bend the other, and then switching around, straightening and bending. And then coming back to your normal downward facing dog, and then rolling our body forward, really pressing through the top of the spine into our plank position, dropping our knees, and then we're just going to roll our spine down, rolling it down to the ground. One hand comes out in front of our face, and one hand comes to the side into an L, and we're just going to like push up our body like this. So it's kind of like when a baby first learns to explore, pushing around. It's going to push both our hands and feel the tiny little twist in our spine. And then swapping it over, so the opposite hand will come above your head and the other hand will come to the side. And again, just breathing in, feeling the nice twist in your spine. And then if that was comfortable, you can bring your hands slightly closer to your body as we twist a tiny bit higher. And then exhaling, coming back down, and inhaling as we come up. And we'll do that twice more, synchronizing your own breath with your movement. So playing around with movement in that upper spine. You might want to push a bit higher, which is okay. But again, just checking in with how our body is feeling. Once we've done an even amount of both sides, rolling your body back to center, down, hands come under our shoulders, and curling the toes, we're going to send our hips back to our heels, and then up to downward facing dog. And then rolling our body forward again into a plank position, dropping the knees, rolling our body down. And this time our hands come behind our body. We're going to interlace our hands behind our back. Rolling our shoulders down the back, and then on the inhale we lift up. Lifting our chest up to the sky. Our hands are just resting on the bottom, but we might even be able to bring our hands up off our back to create a bit more of a stretch. And you might even be able to add the legs in if you like. Lifting up the feet and the shins and the thighs from the mat. And then we exhale, we come back down. Resting our chin on the mat and releasing our hands. And now bringing our hands back together with the uncommon interlace. Inhaling, coming up, rolling our shoulders back. Lifting up, option to add the feet in as well. Bring our hands slightly away from our bottom as we pull our shoulders down. And we exhale, we come back down. And other chin comes down towards the mat. Resting on our chin, on our cheek, sorry. And then our hands come back towards underneath our shoulders, curling the toes, and we send our hips backwards to child's pose, and then through to downward facing dog. And starting to walk our hands in between all the way to our feet. And then just hanging here in a forward fold, releasing any tension, waggling the head. Each hand comes to our elbows, and we just sway here. Releasing any tension, feeling the blood through. Come towards our head. And then we slowly roll our body up, each vertebrae at a time, to a standing position. Standing nice and tall. Rolling our shoulders down the back of our spine. And then inhaling, reaching up above our head. Interlacing our hands and pushing away from our body, stretching up to the ceiling. Inhaling long, and then on the exhale we roll our body forward, coming down in a big circular movement. Make sure that we're engaging our core when we do this, and then inhaling and coming back up. And we'll do one more like that. Big circular movements, which you can feel in the top of your thoracic spine again. And reaching up. And then we'll reverse the direction. Exhaling as we come down. And inhaling as we come up. Making the movement slow and mindful. Again, breathing deeply and connecting the speed of your breath with the movement. Once we're done, reaching up, stretching up, making our body long, and exhaling, releasing our hands to our side. Rolling our shoulders down the back, and our hands come nice and wide. Breathing in and breathing out, feeling relaxation in our neck and our shoulders. And then bringing our hands to our heart. And we bow all together. Namaste. Have a good day. And remember to keep mobility in our neck and our shoulders as we're working on our laptops all the time.